Jai Hind to all. I'm Updesh Kumar Jaiswal, working as an assistant professor in Department of CSC, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today, I'm going to discuss about the interaction style and usability in the user interface. The outline of my today lecture are direct manipulation style of interaction, indirect manipulation interaction style, business and requirement analysis, usability in user interface design, importance of usability in user interface design, guidelines for designing conceptual model, and the references which I have used. Here in the diagram, the style of interaction used in accessing the GUI are represented. There are many ways I have shown by the diagram. Now, interaction style can be categorized into two types, direct and indirect. In this PPT, I am going to discuss about the direct manipulation. Direct manipulation style of interaction is an interaction style in which the object of interest in the user interface are visible and can be acted upon via physical, reversible, incremental action that receive immediate feedback. By direct manipulation, in short DM, user operate on model word and change it to the task word. The concept of direct manipulation, way of communication between user and the system, was introduced by Ben Siederman in the 1982 with the context of office and desktop application. So we can say this concept is given by Ben Siederman in 1982. Some famous examples of the direct manipulation interaction style are the action of using your fingertips to zoom in and zoom out of the image in a mobile phone. Here in this mobile phone, I am doing the process of zoom in and zoom out, and this is the example of direct manipulation. Another example is resizing a graphical shape such as rectangle by dragging its corners or edges with a mouse. Another classic example is dragging a file from a folder to another one in order to move it. In this diagram, it is shown folder is moving from here to here. Now, what are the characteristics or advantages of direct manipulation? It is very important to understand. The main advantages of direct manipulation are the system is described as an extension of the real world. I already told in direct manipulation, we are changing the model word into the task word. Continuous visibility of object and actions. In direct manipulation, we are capable to visible object and action continuously. In this example, I already explained. Actions are rapid and incremental with visible display of results. What are the actions performed by customer and what are the outputs of those actions? All things are visible. We can say all the results are displayed face to face, spontaneously. Incremental actions are easily reversible. The indirect manipulation, we can present task concept visually. It is easy to learn, easy to retain, permits error avoidance, encourage exploration, permits high subjective satisfaction. So these are the main advantages of direct manipulation interaction style in case of user interface while doing the human-computer interaction. But there are some problems. So we can say there are some disadvantages while using the direct manipulation interaction style. Sometimes the operation may be difficult to conceptualize in the graphical system. The graphics capability of the system may be limited. the amount of space available for placing manipulation controls in the window border may be limited. It may be difficult for people, it may be difficult for the customer, client, or users to learn and remember all the necessary operations and actions. So, indirect manipulation comes into the picture. So, second category is the indirect manipulation, interaction style. Sometimes it may be difficult for people, for user, for client or customer to learn and remember all the necessary operation and action. When these circumstances occur, then indirect manipulation interaction style comes into the picture. So we can say in this situation, indirect manipulation interaction style is provided. Indirect manipulation substitutes words and text such as pull down or pop-up menus for symbols and substitutes typing for pointing. Most Windows systems are a combination of both direct and indirect manipulation. A menu may be accessed by pointing at a menu icon and then selecting it. It is the example of direct manipulation. The menu itself, however, is a textual list of operations. It is the indirect manipulation. When an operation is selected from the list by pointing or typing, the system executes it as a command. I given one example of the indirect manipulation. Here, in this view menu bar, zoom option is coming, and after placing the mouse here, different options are coming. These are the examples of the indirect manipulation. Now, what are the differences between direct and direct manipulation? It is very important to understand. Direct manipulation, in this, user directly contact with the system without any mediator. But in case of indirect manipulation, user interacts with real world through an interface. An interface is between the user and the system. So directly feedback cannot be obtained. It is obtained by using the intermediate, that is called as the interface. So what are the issues come in case of indirect manipulation? It is very important to understand. Feedback provides very late. But in the direct manipulation, customer is direct in contact with the system, so feedback is provided very early, very quickly. So this was the important difference between the direct and indirect manipulation. Now, business and requirement analysis. To establish a good business, customer requirements should be captured, collected, and analyzed carefully before the development of new software system, new software product. Here, the objective is to provide the need for a system. A requirement is an objective that must be satisfied, that must be given by the developer to the customer. For the success of a business, we should always confirm the customer requirement. If you are confirming the requirements or customer, then we are also providing a good quality of the product to the customer. A product description is developed and refined based on input from users and marketing. There are many techniques for capturing information for determining the requirements of the customer. And these techniques are classified as direct methods and indirect methods. By using these two methods, we can collect the requirement of the customer. And after collecting the requirement of the customer, we can design the user interface according to the customer requirement. So, to capture the requirement, direct methods are used, and there are 7 subtypes of the direct methods. The first type of the direct method is individual face-to-face interview. And one-to-one visit with the user can be done to obtain information. It may be structured or somewhat open-ended. Telephone interview or survey. An interview may be also conducted via telephone to obtain the requirement of the customer by talking with the customer client. Traditional focus group, a small group of users and a moderator brought together to discuss the requirements. Facilitate team workshop. This is the fourth subtype of the direct method. A facilitated structure workshop held with users, and these workshop will be useful to user in obtaining requirements, understanding the information. Observational field study. This is also a direct method for collecting the requirement of the customer. Users are observed and monitored for an extended time period to learn what they do, what they want. Usability laboratory testing. Users at work are observed, evaluated, and measured in a specially constructed laboratory. A laboratory developed where user is performing some type of task and developer or user interface designer observe what they are doing. On the basis of observation, they are developing the system. They are designing the user interface. Card sorting for website. This technique is useful in case of website. It is a technique to establish groupings of the information for website. I already told. Now, indirect methods. To collect the business and requirement analysis, to do business and requirement analysis, to collect the requirement of the customer, indirect methods are also used. This is the second category, and there are different subtypes are given here in case of indirect method. The first one is the MIS intermediary. A company representative defines the user goals and needs to designer and developer. Marketing and sales. Company representative who are regularly meet customer, obtain suggestion on need, current and potential. Support line information collected by the unit that helps customer with a day-to-day problems is analyzed. We can say customer support, technical support, help desk, etc. Email or bulletin board. These are the very important method, very popular method for giving the indirect manipulation. A review of competitors' products or website is used to gather the idea, to uncover the design requirements and identify the task. Another indirect method is the system testing. New requirements and feedback are added or obtained from ongoing product testing. On the basis of user feedback, system testing is performed and new features can be added in the development of the new system. Trade show. Customer at a trade show are presented a mock-up or prototype and then ask for the comments. Prototype is shown to the customer using the prototype and then giving his or her comment or feedbacks. Now, another important term is usability. Usability in user interface design. Usability is a quality attribute. If you are providing more usability in case of user interface design, then we are providing the good quality product. To interact with the system, usability is very important. So I already told usability is a quality attribute that access how easy user interfaces are used. Usability ensures that the system is efficient, effective, safe, easy to learn easy to remember, easy to evaluate, and provides job satisfaction to the users and customers and clients. A design's usability depends how well its feature accommodate user needs and contexts. Usability in terms of user interface designed by five quality components. Five quality components are required to define the good usability. And these quality components are learnability, efficiency, memorability, errors, and satisfaction. So learnability should be high, efficiency should be high, memorability should be high, error should be less, and satisfaction should be high. The meaning of learnability is how easy is it for the user to complete the basic task the first time they encounter the design. Efficiency. Once user has learned the design, how quickly can they perform the task? It shows the efficiency. Memorability. When user returns to the design after a period of time, not using, how easily can they reestablish proficiency? Errors. How many errors do user make and how easily can they recover from the errors? These are very important terms. Satisfaction. How pleasant is to the user interface design when user is using, how much he is satisfied, how much he is happy. This shows the satisfaction. And based on these components, usability defined. How to improve the usability, how to observe the usability. Usability refers that interactive products are easy to learn, effective to use, and enjoyable from the user's perspective, user's point of view. There are many methods for studying, observing, and improving the usability of the user interface. But the most basic and useful is user testing, which has three components. So we can say to perform the user testing, three activities are performed. I am going to discuss those activities in given below. Get hold of some representative users such as customer for an e-commerce site or employees from an intranet. In the latter case, they should work outside your department. Ask the user to perform representative tasks with the design. These are the steps for performing the user testing. Observe what the users do, what they succeed, and where they have difficulty with the user interface. Set up and let the user do the talking among them to solve any problems or their own. If you help them, direct their attention to any particular part of the screen, you have infected the test result. So don't disturb the user. What they are performing, they should be performed. You have to only observe. Importance of usability in user interface design. ISO 9421 defines usability as a effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction with user accomplished tasks. The word usability also refers to method for improving ease of use during the user interface design process. So effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction. These are important parameters to define the usability. In this diagram, I have shown here usability, which is based on the effectiveness, satisfaction, and efficiency. And these three parameters define the usability. Usability is important because if users do not obtain the goals they expect from your product, what are the expectation? If they are not obtaining their expectation, they will deny your product or services. Users are expecting something and your products are not providing those things, then customer will be denied to your product, denied to their service. They will then choose your competitors over you, and it will not too difficult for them to find an alternative. There are many alternatives, many competitors, many types of products are available all over the world. So if they lose the interest from your product, they will go to your competitor and buy the product from there. Therefore, ideal usability is a must for a good experience. On the web, usability is necessary condition for survival because there are lots of competitors. If a website is difficult to use, people leave. So usability should be high while using the website, while searching the website, while surfing the website. If the home page fails to clearly state what a company offers and what users can do on the site, people leave. If users get lost on the website, they leave. If a website information is hard to read, doesn't answer user key questions, they leave the website. They don't use your site. If user cannot find the required product details, then they cannot buy it from your website. They will go from the other side, other competitor side. Usability also involves examining and evaluating why a user should prefer a product in a user-centered design process. So we can say 5 E describe the multi-phase characteristic of the usability, and 5 E are efficient, effective, engaging, error tolerant, and easy to learn. The first E for the efficient, second E for the effective, third E for the engaging, fourth E for the error tolerant, and fifth easy to learn. So these 5 E's are very important to define the usability. Importance of usability is very high in user interface design because it involves following features as given below. Usability can provide good navigation, familiarity, consistency, error prevention, feedback, visual clarity, flexibility, and efficiency. If these features are available in your application on your website, then usability will be obviously high. Now, guidelines for designing conceptual model. We have studied about the different types of the interaction style. We have understand the user requirement. We have understood about the what is the usability. On the basis of these learning, we can provide the guidelines for designing the conceptual model. Following are the important guidelines for designing a conceptual model, and these conceptual models are very useful to provide the good interaction style, to provide the good usability, and to provide the good user interface design. So designing becomes very good of quality. So I'm going to discuss each and every guidelines one by one. Reflect the user's mental model, not the designers. Designers are designing the user interface. So it is very important to change the user's mental model. Make the mental model of users such that they will feel the happiness, they will feel the fun while using your system. Draw physical analogies or present metaphors, that is the symptom or features. Execute with anticipation, habits, routine, and stereotypes. The fourth guideline is provide action response compatibility. Whatever the action performed, a response should be given fastly. Make invisible parts of the system visible. The parts of the system which are hidden, which are not used by the client, then make those parts visible to the client, make those parts visible to the people so that they can use them frequently. So you are making invisible part of the system visible to the client, visible to the people, visible to the customer. Sixth guideline is the provide proper and correct feedback. If feedback is provided at the accurate time, at the correct time, and it is provided correctly, then designing the conceptual model becomes very easy, and conceptual model becomes will be of a very good quality. Avoid the unnecessary or irrelevant information. The information which are absolute, which are unnecessary, which are redundant, remove those. Avoid the unnecessary or irrelevant information, the information which are not related to given context. So remove those. Provide design consistency. In design, consistency is very important. It attracts the user. It makes happy to the user while they are using the system. Provide documentation and help system that will reinforce or activate the conceptual model. Promote the development of both fresh and expert mental models. On the basis of these guidelines, interaction style will be very good and usability will be also improved. And designing process of the user interface will be very good. So we should always use these guidelines while designing the conceptual model. So these are the references which I use to deliver my lecture. Different websites, textbooks and journals are used. Thank you and Jai Hind.